Hello and welcome to our Facebook Live for Breast Cancer Now. Tonight we're going to be talking about a wonderful charity, the founder of whom is here tonight, my friend and great supporter, Oa. The charity's name is Little Lifts, great name. So shortly I will be talking to Oa and asking her to share her story and how the charity was set up and how it all works. Just to say, first of all, though, just to let you know that you can pose questions for Oa throughout the session. We'll try and answer as many as we can throughout the session. Otherwise, we will be able to reply to them probably tomorrow. Otherwise, you can leave a message on our helpline. It's a free confidential helpline. You can leave a message and the number will be up on the screen. And you can leave a message tonight, and one of our nurses will give you a ring in the morning when we open at 9. So, without further ado, Oa, thank you so much. At last, it's taken a bit of organisation
It
to
has.
get us here, hasn't it? But I'm so delighted that you're joining us. So it's lovely, and you've had a lot going on. So thank you. I'm very grateful that you managed to help us out tonight.
No problem. Thank you for
No,
having me.
not at all. So please, could you tell us about the background to this and share your story, if you don't mind, and about how the charity was set up.
Sure, thank you, Addie. So, as you've said, my name is Oa, and when I was 28 years old, back in 2014, I was away on holiday celebrating my 28th birthday. And after what can only be described as the world's worst bike ride, because it was classic British weather, very wet and rainy, I was in the shower and I found a lump in my right breast. I actually didn't do anything about it for a little while, but I did eventually get to my GP after my family and my now husband quite rightly kept on at me. And I visited my GP, and then very quickly after that, I was at the hospital, and within days, I was told that I had breast cancer. So, breast cancer was pretty overwhelming, the diagnosis for me, and I was just, put into a lot of medical appointments and scans to work out my treatment plan. And it was decided for me that I was going to need to have chemotherapy, surgery, radiotherapy, and hormone treatment in order to get better. So I was diagnosed with primary breast cancer. And shall I keep going?
Well, sort of, it's up to you if you want to tell us why. Well, how you set up the
Yeah.
charity, and what sort of prompted you. I guess, I mean, the obvious thing is, I guess, your breast cancer diagnosis. But yes, if you could just give us a background on how you set the charity up.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, needed to have chemotherapy first in order before I could have surgery. And when I visited my oncologist and met her for the very first time, I also sat in an appointment with my support nurse and learnt all about chemotherapy treatment and listened to what felt like a very long list of side effects that I was likely or had the chance of experiencing. And my medical team were absolutely fantastic. They were incredibly supportive, but in that particular moment, I felt incredibly overwhelmed about what was to come and pretty unprepared for some of the side effects that my medical team were talking about. And so I left that appointment with all of those emotions, with one emotion which was feeling incredibly isolated and alone, because when I left I couldn't see any other people my age that were going through a similar experience. But my amazing family and friends were incredible, and I felt so incredibly supported and loved throughout my treatment, and I still do now. And it was these incredible care packages and beautiful gifts that would land on my doorstep every week containing really helpful products to help relieve side effects that I was experiencing from chemotherapy, but also really boosted my emotional well-being. And so it is essentially the kindness that I received from my family and friends today that inspires Little Lifts. And Little Lifts is a very small but mighty charity, and we are on a mission to provide free, carefully curated Little Lifts gift boxes to women and men who are going through chemotherapy, radiotherapy and surgery for primary or secondary breast cancer.
Amazing, amazing. And gosh, how did you go about actually setting it up? I mean, did you, you don't get any government funding, I believe, is that correct? And
That is correct.
yeah,
So thanks to Google, I googled how to set up a charity, and there's some information. There's some information on there
amazing.
that helped us. But there was a group of us that got together. We formed a board of trustees, and then as a result of that, we developed our strategy, what we wanted to do, and how we were going to fundraise for it. And Little Lift celebrated its 7th birthday towards the end of last year.
Amazing.
And had we known where Little Lifts would be now in terms of the numbers of boxes that we're sending out across the country, I don't think any of us would have thought that we'd have got to this stage as quickly as we have.
Gosh, and how do you sort of distribute the boxes? And who do you sort of, because I know hospitals, NHS hospitals are involved with distributing them as well, aren't they? So how did you go about doing that?
That's correct. So I'm based in Norfolk, and my local hospital is the Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital. And I honestly thought when we started Little Lifts, it would be just that hospital that we were working with, kind of my way of giving back. Little Lifts has been a really big part of my own recovery as well. But that, again, quickly snowballed. So there are 3 ways that breast cancer patients can access a Little Lifts box. So the first way is in Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex and Cambridgeshire. We have 10 NHS hospital partnerships, and breast cancer patients who are being treated at one of those hospitals will and hopefully should automatically receive a Little Lifts box during their treatment. The second way breast cancer patients can access a box is via our Little Kindness Fund. So this fund was set up in response to the pandemic because there were breast cancer patients telling us across the country, outside of those counties I've mentioned, that they felt isolated and they wanted to be able to access our support. So the Little Kindness Fund now means that anybody anywhere can go onto our website and apply for a box free of charge. That's then hand-packed with a lot of love and popped in the post. And then the third way people can access a box is if they are an individual that would like to buy one for a loved one. So we have an online shop, and for every box we sell, we're able to gift another one.
Gosh, and do you have volunteers as well as paid employees to
Yes,
do all that?
we
Yeah.
do. So as I mentioned, we're small but
Yeah.
mighty. So there's 8 of us in the office that are employed here at Little Lifts, and then we have 56 formalised volunteers who have gone through all their official training. We have quite high quality control when it comes to box packing, but our volunteers are there to help us sort stock, pack our boxes, deliver our boxes to our hospital partnerships, or help get them ready for Royal Mail, who then come and collect them, and then they whiz around the country in the post.
Oh, fantastic. Before I ask you what the contents of each box and what sort of boxes you have, because I know you have the highest quality things in them. I've got a question from a lady. I haven't got her name, and she said, "I really wanted a Little Lifts box." She has breast cancer diagnosis, but I hadn't got the confidence to ask for one. So, I mean, if people want to actually get one, how would she go about doing that?
So, gosh, there's so much going on for someone when they're going through breast cancer treatment, and I remember that it's a really overwhelming time. I think if you're not being treated at one of our hospital partnerships, it can feel like something else you have to do in terms of applying for a box. But our boxes are available to anybody who's going through chemotherapy, radiotherapy or surgery for breast cancer. So my answer to that question would be, please have a look at our website. Please do have a look at the application form. There is some information we have to ask for to help process that application.
Yeah.
But if you are feeling underconfident in terms of using the internet to do it, we do have other ways that we can support people to apply for a box, and that's just a case of contacting our office, and one of the lovely ops team, most likely Hannah, will be able to talk you through the application and help you get it sorted.
Oh, that's lovely to know. That's really useful to know. We'll put details of the Little Lifts charity website on our pages. So yeah, and afterwards. So now, I love these. I love these boxes. They're amazing. And you sent us some sample boxes so that we could have a look through, and we could, on our helpline, we can talk it through with people that that what the contents are. But for our benefit, would you just do a bit of show and tell?
Of course.
Yeah.
I will show just a few products because I don't want to ruin the surprise if people
Oh,
do
okay, yeah, no,
apply.
fair enough.
So I will absolutely do that. So this is an example of a surgery box. So all of our Little Lifts boxes look like this in size. And now here is the moment of truth to open it. Bear with me. So as I mentioned, this box is to support people who are going through surgery for their breast cancer, and some examples of products we have in here. Okay, all of our boxes have really delicious organic chocolate, because who doesn't love chocolate?
Exactly.
We also make sure all of our chocolate is vegan, so it's suitable for all dietary needs. We do also love working with small businesses that are local or UK made. They're products that are kind to the planet, they can be reused, they're natural, organic and ethically made. So as you mentioned, we are quite particular about what goes into these boxes. But going back to the surgery box, we also have some really lovely milk wash in here and a flannel to support strip washing if you're in hospital, or a gentle wash for when you do get home. And then we have, again, that you will find in all of our boxes, a heated eye mask. So the eye mask is in there to encourage rest and to aid recovery. We also have other products such as sleep mist in our chemotherapy box that can then help rest and sleep. We work with a really lovely local brand in Norfolk who make us these beautiful bottles of cordial. And again, you will find these across all of our boxes, because drinking plenty of fluids is really important when you're going through treatment.
Yeah.
We know that chemotherapy can affect your sense of taste, and so adding some flavouring to still or sparkling water can really help that. We also have across all three of our boxes some herbal tea, again to aid hydration and relaxation. Our radiotherapy box, so moving on to that one, it's the same size as the one I've just shown you, but it is advised when you're going through radiotherapy treatment to wear a metal-free deodorant. So we provide that into our radiotherapy box. In our chemotherapy box, we also have a really lovely moisturiser. And again, you will find this moisturiser across all of our other boxes as well, to help relieve sensitive skin, because chemotherapy can cause sensitive skin, as can radiotherapy. And then we also have in our chemotherapy and our radiotherapy boxes hot chocolate, because lots of breast cancer patients tell us that a hot chocolate is like one big hug in a mug. So that's why we like to put nice little treats in there.
Definitely.
So there's lots of products in here that have all been chosen by people who have experience of breast cancer. So that's very important to us, to listen to feedback, that patients are telling us, because every person's experience is very different.
Yeah.
And so we want to be able to listen at our focus groups to what people are telling us and then respond accordingly. So a good example of this is our chemotherapy box used to contain a water bottle, and at a focus group it was decided that about 80% of the breast cancer patients in that group weren't using that water bottle. Instead, they wanted to see a sleep kit within the box.
Yeah.
So we now have a really lovely sleep kit which has taken the place of the water bottle, and because breast cancer patients were telling us that they wanted more products in there to help with rest, relaxation and sleep. So we are always reviewing our products, making sure that they are the best that they can be, and we cannot do what we do without the feedback that we get back from people telling us about their boxes.
So yes, that's what I was going to say. Do you have regular sort of focus groups with people with a lived experience of breast cancer, so that you can review things and the products that you put into the boxes?
Yes, so we have a commitment to hold focus groups every year.
Okay.
And those focus groups can sometimes be a standalone focus group, or they might be in addition to a wellness event that we might do as a way of saying thank you for giving us your feedback. We might now then enjoy an afternoon tea or a sound bath, etc. As we're growing and we have more patients across the UK, we have hosted online focus groups, and they are smaller groups. But again, it's really informative for us to find out how people have received them, how they found the application process, for example, through our Little Kindness Fund. So it's not always just the products that are in the box, it's Little Lift's processes and how we are managing the application process to get the boxes out. That feedback's been really important to us.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously the fact that you have been through that sort of journey, if you like, I mean, you can fully empathise with people, can't you? And you, like you're saying about, the hot chocolate and the cordial, you just know how what they're going through, and I think that's really important, isn't it? And so are you looking to increase your increase your sort of the audience who keep the boxes or buy the boxes, so in terms of the hospitals, for instance, are you looking at that?
Yeah, so last year we distributed just over 10,000 Little Lifts boxes.
It's incredible.
Yeah, considering in our first year we did 256, and 7 years later we distributed 10,000,
Wow.
which means we've distributed since the beginning of Little Lifts time, so to speak.
That's
We've
amazing.
distributed over 26,000 Little Lifts boxes. We know that 55,000 women and 400 men and 61,000 women are living with secondary breast cancer. So we are on a mission to be able to get as many Little Lifts boxes to breast cancer patients as possible. But being a small charity, we obviously need to fundraise to be able to do this. So this year we are aiming to distribute a further 10,000. So we want to match what we did last year, and we will be doing that by keeping our 10 NHS hospital partnerships within the East of England, but offering a higher percentage of boxes into our Little Kindness Fund, so that more people who are going through their treatment can access a Little Lifts box.
That's amazing, and of course we will. We haven't had any questions, but I think it's just, says it does what it says on the tin. You've explained about the charity, and I think anybody watching will just be, hopefully in awe of that, and if they want one, they will, they know how to access the to apply to have a box, and we certainly. Like I said, if you give us a ring on the helpline, we certainly can give you that information as well, and pass any questions on to Oa as well.
It's also probably just quickly worth mentioning that in response to feedback from breast cancer patients and the medical professionals that we work with, we have now set up what's called the Little Kindness Fund portal. So you can go onto our website and then you will be introduced to the Little Kindness Fund portal. This now means that breast cancer patients themselves can apply for a box, or with your consent, with the breast cancer patient's consent, a medical professional can apply on their behalf. So we have about 50-50% in terms of breast cancer patients applying themselves and the medical professionals applying on their behalf. So that is another way of having a conversation with your medical professional to see if they have knowledge of the Little Kindness Fund, because we are now sending out information about this fund across hospitals across the country. So there is also that as an option for breast cancer patients and even medical professionals that might also be in contact with breast cancer now, for example.
Yeah, no, I mean they're a great link to have, aren't they? Because I think again, you always said that you don't want to make these boxes sort of medicalised in any way, but I think the fact that the healthcare professionals are actually, promoting them, it's a really nice link for patients. It makes them feel that they're being listened to, maybe, and that I think it's a really important step, isn't it, forward? So, no, it's brilliant. So, it's lovely to have had you, and had you listen to you talking about the charity. Like I said, we'll, any questions we can field, to Oa, and or we can speak to you on the helpline. So with that, I think, because there haven't been any other questions, but I think just to say thank you, a big thank you to you, Oa.
Absolute pleasure. Thank
You've
you.
always been a great supporter of ours, and we'll continue to, promote your charity because we love it. And just to say that if you wouldn't mind, we like to evaluate our Facebook Live sessions. So if you wouldn't mind, please completing the survey. If you're watching this, we'd be very grateful. But you can look on our website. Obviously, we will be putting up Little Lifts, the link to the charity, so that you can read all about it if you want to know more. But I'd just like to say good night and thank you everybody for watching. So good night.